The prophecy of the Chosen One was introduced to Star Wars in The Phantom Menace. I've said before that that's not my favorite trope in storytelling, but it's still a part of Star Wars, and I have to admit that I am interested in what the prophecy actually has to say. Well, Master and Apprentice gives us at least an excerpt, and I have to admit that I perked up when I read it, and I found myself to be sufficiently intrigued. In Legends, the most we ever got was a very bare bones, a Jedi will come to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force. That's it. Master and Apprentice gives us this. Only through sacrifice of many Jedi will the Order cleanse the sin done to the Nameless. The danger of the past is not past, but sleeps in an egg. When the egg cracks, it will threaten the galaxy entire. When the Force itself sickens, past and future must split and combine. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored. So let's break this thing down line by line, but before I do, I want to say that the book has a lot to say about prophecy and how everyone who interprets one brings with it their own histories and values and points of view. So whatever I say is probably going to be completely different from what you interpret out of the exact same lines. So I would love to hear your takes on all of this in the comments. The first line sounds like it's about the Jedi Purge at the end of the Clone Wars, a sacrifice to cleanse the sin done to the Nameless. I don't know who the Nameless are, but I'm going to take a shot in the dark and guess that it's the people the Jedi never helped. In the book, Qui-Gon laments that the Jedi don't really do anything about slavery outside of the Republic, even though technically they have the power to. The Council says, they don't want to exceed their mandate or interfere with cultures who are outside of the Republic. So maybe the Nameless are people like slaves who don't have a name for themselves or a voice for themselves. People that the Jedi never bothered to help, even though it would have been the right thing to do. The second line, I guess, is referring to the Sith. The danger of the past is not past, but sleeps in an egg. When the egg cracks, it will threaten the galaxy entire. It's never said when the Chosen One prophecy was written, but my best guess for the danger of the past has to be the Sith. The Council thought that they were extinct for a millennium, and then they pop back up in The Phantom Menace. As for the reference to it being in an egg, I think that could just mean that it's small and hidden, and growing into something new. The Rule of Two was the birth of a new way of operating for the Sith, one the Jedi weren't familiar with, so when the egg cracked, they weren't prepared for it. I think this could also potentially refer to the evil of the First Order growing from the fallen Empire. Maz Kanata says that it's the same fight repeated over and over, generation after generation. It's just the fight against evil, be it against the Sith or the Empire or the First Order. Or it's referring to the giant kaiju that comes out of a literal egg in the Poe Dameron comic. The entire Star Wars saga is really about those things. Next up, I'm at kind of a loss. When the Force itself sickens, past and future must split and combine. Nothing obvious is jumping out at me for this line, so here comes a complete guess. The Force could be in its sickened state during the reign of the Emperor. Luke and Leia could represent the future, while Anakin represents the past. They all split apart for about 2 decades, and then they come back together. Luke is reunited with Vader, and he is able to bring his father back to the light side of the Force, and at the same time, the Sith are destroyed. And the final line, I think, is the most straightforward of the bunch. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored. We know Anakin had no father, so that's at least part of the reason Qui-Gon felt so strongly he'd found the chosen one. Anakin does ultimately destroy the Sith, so there you go. Balance restored. But hey, that's just what I interpreted from those lines, which I doubt are even the full prophecy. Like the book says, we're all going to come at this from different points of view. We're going to bring in our own histories and our own values, so I want to see what you guys think of all of these lines in the comments. Let me know what your point of view on the Chosen One prophecy is, because I think that would be really interesting to read through. If you want to read or hear the prophecy for yourself, consider picking Master and Apprentice up for free on Audible. Just follow the link in the description or visit www.audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. The audiobook is out right now, and the production value on all the Star Wars books is very high, with sound effects and music. It's like listening to a movie. Signing up for an Audible trial will get you a credit for 1 free book, and you can use it on Master and Apprentice, or just about any Star Wars book you can think of. Or get any book you want. The point is, you get a free book, and you'll be supporting the channel when you do. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.